Hi kids, it's Nicola. I'm just pretending to be Firefighter Nicola. There's no fire really. But I just ran when I heard the siren. I ran from Hamworthy station in this heavy coat and got my water just in case. Anyway, I'm not really coming to be a firefighter. I've come to read you a bedtime story. So let's do this. Let's put these down. It's a bit warm tonight, so might have to just undo these a little bit. Whew. Anyway, so tonight is bedtime story time, and we're going to read Fireman Sam's River Rescue. Did I just lose my... Yes, okay. Ready? One day, Fireman Sam was fixing a puncture of Jupiter's tyres when Elvis came along. "Need any help, Sam?" asked Elvis. "I'm great at fixing punctures." "No, thank you, Elvis," said Sam. "I think I've got this one under control." Elvis looked very disappointed. But just then, James and Sarah arrived, carrying a deflated beach ball. "Rosa just stuck her claws in our beach ball," said James. "Can you fix it?" I'll do it, said Elvis, quickly perking up and getting his puncture repair kit. In the countryside, Tom Thomas was expertly flying a kite. Norman and Mandy were watching in admiration. "Cool, that's a cool kite, Tom. Can I borrow it?" asked Norman. "Sure, as long as you're careful with it," replied Tom, winding the kite in from the sky. "Careful's my middle name," said Norman, and Tom handed him the kite. Mandy looked at him in disbelief. At the fire station, Elvis had repaired the puncture, but he'd also got the ball glued to his hands. "Going through a sticky patch, I see, Gridlington," laughed Station Officer Steele. "Ha, ha, ha." "Yes, sir, very funny, sir," replied Elvis. "Now, men," said Officer Steele, "this sunshine will have people out on the water, so we need to check our safety equipment." "The pontoon in particular," added Sam. "It's a sort of airbed that is used for rescues on the water." But when Officer Steele went to get it from Jupiter's locker, the pontoon wasn't there. Outside Dillis's shop, Norman and Mandy were looking at the kite. Norman was wearing his skateboarding helmet and knee pads, and he had a full bag of newspapers over his shoulder. "Are you sure about this?" asked Mandy. "Yay! With this little baby, I'll be able to do my newspaper round twice as fast," replied Norman, clutching the kite to his chest. "See you later." Then Norman tossed the kite into the air and held tightly onto the line. "Hey, wait for me," shouted Mandy, running after him. Can you see him? I'm not so sure about this. Norman was going faster and faster on his skateboard as the wind tugged at the kite. "Here comes the fastest paper boy in the world," Norman shouted. When Norma reached Bella's cafe, he threw her newspaper at her. "Mamma mia!" grinned Bella, looking outside. "Flaming koalas," said Tom. "Norman, what on earth are you doing?" asked Dillis. "Express delivery, ma'am," said Norman, before he sped off. waiting on the pavement when Norman whizzed past. Woof, woof! Then the kite pulled Norman into the road as Trevor was driving up the street. The bus screeched to a halt and Norman managed to get safely out of the way just in time. Goodness gracious, Norman's gone supersonic. If he's not careful, he'll have an accident, said Trevor, sorry. Around the corner, Sarah and James were bouncing their ball. Hi, have you seen Norman? Asked Mandy. The twins shook their head. Well, if you do, get out of the way quickly. And off she went. But just then they heard Norman approaching. Whee! Look out, James! shouted Sarah. James jumped out of Norman's path just in time. You see, but he knocked him over, didn't he? Norman sped straight past on his skateboard and skidded out of control towards the lake. Ah! Ah! Woo! He cried as a big gust of wind caught the kite and lifted Norman over the lake. The wing dropped and Norman plunged straight into the water with a loud splash. Oh no! Cried Sarah and James. Norman cannot swim. Oh dear. At the fire station, Elvis had finally found the pontoon, but he quickly discovered that it had a puncture. So with Sam's help, it was soon repaired. Back at the lake, Norman was struggling in the water. We'd better get Uncle Sam, said Sarah. You go, I'll stay here, said James, and Sarah ran for help. Ah! Ah! Shouted Norman, help me! Grab hold of this, Norman, said James, and he threw him the beach ball. But it landed out of Norman's reach. Sarah's emergency message quickly reached the fire station. Oh no! Norman Price has been blown into the lake, said Sam. Scramble, men! Scramble! Action stations, said Station Officer Steele. Sam and Elvis put the inflatable pontoon in Jupiter's locker and the fire crew were ready. Jupiter's lights began to flash and the siren wailed. Penny and Venus set off close behind. At the lake, Norman was trying to keep his head above the water. Help! Help! He gasped. Norman, turn on your back and kick, shouted James. I'll try. And he turned and started to kick. Head for that little island, said James. Norman turned his head to find a rock in the middle of the lake and then kicked his way towards it. Just then, they heard the sounds. It's Jupiter! It's okay! Uncle Sam's coming! He'll save you, said James. Jupiter and Venus arrived at the lake with the fire crew. He's over there, Uncle Sam, said James. Yes, we see him. Inflate the pontoon, men, said Station Officer Steele. And Sam and Elvis uploaded the pontoon and Penny plugged it into Jupiter's generator. Pontoon inflated, sir, said Penny. We'll soon have you out of there, Norman, said Sam. Fireman Sam took his first swaying step on the inflatable pontoon towards Norman. God, that's just like a bouncy castle we had at Mandy's birthday party, said Sarah. The wind suddenly picked up again, swaying the pontoon, and Sam was nearly knocked off his balance. "Whoa, steady there. You okay?" said Penny. "Yes, I'm fine, Penny," replied Sam, giving her the thumbs up. "Hurry up, Sam. I think a fish has just swum into my trouser leg," said Norman, and he clung to the rock. Sam managed to lift Norman onto the pontoon. "Hold tight, Norman." "Thank you," said Sam, quietly. Sam carefully carried Norman to safety. "Well done, Sam. First-class operation," said Officer Steele, as Sam put Norman down on the bank. Then Norman pulled out a wriggling fish out of his jeans and threw it back into the lake. Dilys and Mandy were waiting outside the shop when they all got back. "Norman, thank heavens you're safe," cried Dilys. "I've gone off kite flying, Mum," said Norman. "There's nothing wrong with flying a kite," said Norman. "Norman, just make sure you take care," said Sam. "Okay," said Norman, "but I'm going to learn to swim." "You've got to learn to float first," Dilys said, giving him some armbands. "Come on, you can try these out in a nice hot bath." "Oh, Mum," said Norman as Dilys pulled him into the shop, and everybody laughed. He was safe and sound. The end. That was a great book. I love that story, but it did teach me a few things. It told me that I shouldn't fly a kite without supervision. It told me that I should work really hard at swimming lessons so that I can swim. That's really good, isn't it? Anyway, I'm afraid, kids, I'm going to have to go now. Back to the station on the fire engine to take the kit back because I didn't need it. I'll see you all on Thursday and take care. Bye bye.